A lot of ranchers, cattle producers are just broke. We can blame the commodity markets, we can blame the packer, but the truth is, if we're relying on somebody else to make our profit, we've already lost. You see, I grew up in this stuff, and I was a commodity broker for a couple years, and I've even sat across the desk from ranchers like you and me as a banker. There's so many family operations out there that are just barely trying to hang on, and I've experienced that firsthand. The average cow-calf producer makes, what, 50 to 200 bucks a calf on average. I know cattle prices are high right now, but let's just say average. And then by the time you cut out all your living expenses, are you really making money on your ranch? A lot of times, not that much. Don't even get me started with the feeder guys. The variables they have to play with are unprecedented. The market of corn is always fluctuating. The market of other feed costs always fluctuating. And then the price of their feeder calves, they're always fluctuating. Those big feedlots that you see have their own commodity brokers, they have their own CFOs, all managing all those numbers for them. Doesn't sound too much like a family operation to me. You see, a lot of these ranches and farms are running off the legacy of those who've held the operation since the 80s. And the truth is, that seems smart on paper because the 80s were extremely hard. And any operation that was able to sustain that, they did great. You know, they figured out how to run their operation during hard times. But if we look at back in the 80s, where the population was headed, many people were leaving rural America, going to the cities. Urban population was skyrocketing. The economists, they're like, hey, we got to figure something else out. We have people moving to the urban areas and they need food. And so the industry was steered towards getting mass production of numbers. How do we get more beef on the grocery store shelves? How do we do it faster? How do we do it more efficient? And so we had the consolidation of the industry start. But if we look at that time frame, we understand why a lot of the industry was switching from traditionally selling to your local markets and instead selling to the sale barn and ultimately the packers. But I'm not here to tell you if that's right or wrong. I'm here to tell you, how do we get it to the point where we can pass on our operations to our kids and make sure our family legacy is going to stay alive? And here's the big problem. Nobody teaches ranchers or cattle producers how futures actually work, how options work, how the brokers actually make money on those things, or how LRP works. How do you actually get paid out on LRP? All those people, crop insurance salesmen who are selling LRP to collect that premium, how many of them actually know how to explain it to you? And how many bankers actually show you how to calculate your break-even costs down to the calf on your operation? Don't even get me started about the opinion of just run more cattle and you'll make more money. Really? Here's the deal. In any business, real business owners, which you are as a rancher and a cattle producer, they adapt. And those who don't, they run their business into the ground. This is where Agri Summit comes in. We're building a new type of ranching community, one where we help each other online. We teach producers how to use futures and options and LRP and see if it's even right for your operation. And the good thing is, I'm no longer an active commodity broker, so I'm not trying to sell you on some commission-driven thing. Not only that, but I'm starting a direct-to-consumer beef business, starting with just 3 head, to work through the numbers and see how you can start small and scale up that operation. So if you're interested in that, I'm sharing the information on there as I go. But the greatest thing is we're bringing ranchers and cattle producers together. We're bringing them together on an online community where we're not there to complain. We're there to help each other make more profit. We're there to help each other carry on their family's legacy. We're there to help each other succeed. So you can share your ideas, what works for you. You can give feedback on products that maybe were overhyped so that you're helping each other not waste money. And that is something that's valuable for me and for you. Because the truth is, I grew up on a ranch, a family ranch, and I want to protect it, which is why Agri Summit was built by cattle producers for cattle producers like you and me. Now, if you're tired of watching the market and worried about what it's going to do next and would rather have a place where you can go and communicate with like-minded ranchers like you and me, consider joining Agri Summit. The link's in the description. I would appreciate the subscribe to the channel, share the video with 10 friends, and as always, God bless.